Good morning and welcome to PPI Group's webcast featuring AutoCAD's 2018 release. I'm Wendy Finch, Director of Marketing and Professional Services here at the PPI Group, and I am joined today by Jodhvir Singh. JV is just one of our technical specialists who works directly with customers in software instruction, consulting, and tech support. So welcome JV, and at this time I will turn the presentation over to you to walk us through those 2018 AutoCAD features.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jodhvir Singh. I go by JV, and I take care of all the AutoCAD classes, intro and intermediate, and I also teach intro to Civil 3D, and we also do tech support in AutoCAD and AutoCAD Civil 3D. So today's agenda is all the updates in 2018, so I'll get on to that. So top features of AutoCAD 2018, and here's a list of things we're going to go over. So these are the new features that have been added on: off-screen selection, enhancements to PDF import tools, text to MText, XREF references, user interface improvements, and technology and performances. So first thing we'll jump on to is file format. So they finally came out with a new file format. So far they've been using the 2013 format in 2014, 15, 16, and 17. So it took them almost 4 years to come up with the new 2018 format. Now you can still save as older formats, which are still available for you, just how it was in 2017 or 16. So why do they come up with new formats? As our desk says, the new drawing format solves issues that might have occurred in the older releases in the software, and each file format is more refined and stable than the previous one, and this is set to open drawing more quickly than 2017 or 2016 format. And Autodesk also changed the format when they anticipate any changes that are going to take place in the future releases. So they put down a foundation to accommodate for those future releases. All right, so as you'll see, if I go on my save as, this is available in my 2018 version. This also has a DXF format 2018 that also came in, so in case you wanted to know about that. So they actually added 2 new formats. Okay, back to the PowerPoint. So the next feature they've added is the off-screen selection. In the older or the previous versions, you were not able to select anything that was off screen. So for example, I'll do a little demo here. So if I have maybe a little circle here and a little circle here, and I'm in a command and I go in and try to select multiple objects by zooming in, it's only going to select an object that's currently displayed in my screen. So even if I try select that object and I take that off and pan to the other object, it only selects this one. So they did resolve that issue. So if I'm in 2018 now and I do the same thing, so maybe I'll draw the same circles on here and start a command, and I try to select more stuff. Oh, just got rid of it. Oh, it just actually erased it. And like so, it selected both of the things. So even if I'm zoomed in or panned out onto other entities of the drawing, it'll still select everything that's off screen. So that's a new feature they've added in 2018, and that's really helpful when you're working with really large drawings and you have to zoom out and pan to other parts of that drawing. So okay. And the next thing, enhancements to PDF import. So now PDF actually recognizes HHX text. So we'll do a little demo on that and you'll see what I mean by that. So first I'll actually bring in a drawing so we can create a PDF. So I'll open up drawing up in, so maybe something bank building, and this text in my drawing right now is all single line text, and I want to convert that into SHX text so I can export it out to a PDF and then I will bring that PDF in. So to do that, I'll just go ahead and create a new text style, and I'll create a new one, call it my SHX style. Okay, and from the font, this is where you get to actually pick if you want true type font or SHX. So maybe I'll look for something. So you'll see two different icons, and I'll just pick the one that has maybe complex. All right, that would work. And don't need to worry about any annotated text, so I'll uncheck that option, hit apply, close. So I've just created a text style, and I want to switch the single line text into that text style. So I'll go ahead and pick that, and I've turned that into an HHX text, and I will go ahead and export this out so as a PDF, save it on my desktop. Maybe I'll call it test drawing. Okay, once it's done, I will get a little pop-up saying it's created a PDF, and then can go in and bring in that PDF import, and when I bring that in, leave everything default. Okay, want everything to come in, and you'll see the text that I've created is all just simple line work. It's just polylines, but it's recognized it enough, and it's brought another text as multi-line text, which was how it was assigned. So what do we do to change this text into usable text? For example, if I want to turn this into a multi-line text. So I'm going to go in my Insert tab again, and now you have an option to recognize a SHX text. So if I pick that, and I can go ahead and select all the text that I want to change to multi-line text. So I have those 4 texts highlighted. Going to hit enter, and it's going to say, oh, no font was, okay, so it looks like I'm missing a font that I'm using currently. So there is a workaround around that. So I think in my annotative style, so if I pick recognize text in settings, I have to use the same one that I've assigned. So if I remember what I assigned, and this is where I get to pick. So I'll go ahead and check which text I've assigned to that drawing. Well, I actually didn't save that, so now I got a problem. So I'll actually end up doing another one of these demos, so just hang in there with me. So again, bank building. Okay. And I'll create another text. New, my style. And I know there's a dim text in here. Oh, there it is. So dim.shx. So I'll apply that, and I'll apply that. So you want to make sure you actually have the text that you want to change to, and then I'll export this as a PDF. I'll just overwrite that. Yes. Okay. And then I'll bring that in again. Alright. And I'll follow the same steps. So recognize SHX text. Hit enter, and there you go. So 4 of 4, so meaning all 4 that I've selected have been converted into MText. So now if I click on it, my ribbon should change accordingly, and I can make it so it's not polyline functions anymore. So that's how you would convert that into usable text in the windows. All right. So the next is text to MText. This option was available in the previous Express tools. So what the Autodesk 2018 did is even for the LT users, now they have this function available without going through some extent, even without the Express tools. Because right now it's in the Express tools, convert to MText. It's that option right there. So they've just added that as a default option in all the AutoCAD. So it doesn't matter if it's LT or any other versions of AutoCAD. And how that works is if you have single line text or multi-line text, you can pick those texts and just convert to MText, and it's going to automatically convert that into MText. There is a setting tab that pops up, so if I hit that convert to MText, in my command line I see my settings. This actually allows me to go into and customize it a little more. So if I wanted to combine the text into a single object, this is where I would go and do that. So if I check that, click OK, and pick these two texts, it's going to combine them together and put them into one text box. So now if you go on and edit it, it's all one single box. So that's text to MText, and again that's available even without the Express tools now in the LT version. Alright, so the next part of the 2018 features is some enhancements to the external file references. So now they've actually created a extra default that defaults to relative path instead of the full path that was going on in the previous versions. So to show you that, I'll go ahead and open up 2018, and I'll open up a new drawing. I'll bring in the XREF tool palette, and if I go on and attach a DWG, maybe there's a drawing on my desktop, hit open, it defaults to full path. So that's all. So the new command that they've put in is you can actually change how this defaults to, and that command is called ref path types. So if I type in ref path type, and right now mine is set to the value of 2, and the value of 2 means it's gonna default to full path. And if you want to set it to no path, you would type in a 0, and it's going to save in that value. So now if I go on and attach a DWG, for example parcels, it's going to set that default to no path. Out of the factory, when you install AutoCAD, it's going to have it set to 1, so it always defaults to relative, because they're trying to enforce it. So because with relative path, it's easy to fix things when they break. With full path, it gets a little harder. But they've actually worked on that issue also. So if I just bring in this with relative path, and let's say something happens and you move the drawing and your path gets broken, now they've actually added, so you can just right click on the broken path drawing and you can select the new path right in your window right there, and you can browse to the file, and it's as easy as that, just fixing a path. In the older versions, let's say for example 2017, if I do the same thing, so bring in a next ref, and I'll bring in the same drawing, parcels, and this will default to full path. Now if I try changing that to relative path, it's going to say current drawing must be saved before you switch that to the relative path. Now that's not the case anymore in 2018. You can actually set the relative path right on the go without saving the host drawing. So okay, I'll leave that full path because that's the only way it's going to allow me to bring in the XREF. And if I right click, this time it doesn't give me an easier option to just go ahead and browse to a path if the path is broken. So that's a pretty handy thing they've added in 2018. Now if you had multiple drawings in here and they were all residing in one folder, you can right click and find and replace. So it'll show you the saved path, and then you can browse to the folder that you have all your drawings in. So it doesn't matter how many drawings you have, and you would just open and it's gonna replace that path with that, and you would just hit that replace all and it's gonna switch all your drawings to that path. So those enhancements, these two are the ones that are added, and again you can bring in a DWG with relative path without even saving the host drawing, which is the AutoCAD drawing that's open right now. Alright, that's it for that enhancement. So the next one is some user interface improvements. What they've done is AutoCAD actually allows you to save your dialog box settings. If I get rid of that. For example, the navigation, drawing navigation, you can set it so if you wanted to have it organized by name or date or type, and AutoCAD will actually remember the one you selected, so every time you open up that drawing, it's gonna sort it by type or size or date, whichever you select. Before that, it used to just reset to default, and you would have to just go in and do that again. And another thing is, it in 2018, it actually allows you to, for example, this dialog box in my OSNAP settings, it allows you to change the way this looks. In 2017 or 2016, this wasn't possible because you can click on these little arrows to cycle through all these options, but it wouldn't allow you to resize this dialog box. And you can do that with pretty much every dialog box in 2018. So not only that it'll resize it, it'll actually remember the one how you resized it. So if I click OK and if I go back in it again, it's going to hold that size in. And that does it even if you close out of AutoCAD 2017 all the way through and you come back in, it's still going to remember all these settings. And so that's one for the dialog box. So if I go on like a hash command and I drop the hash command, I've set mine so mine displays like that. So these are also the boxes that hold size even after you close out and come back in. So this remembers your settings. And this was not available, and I think before 2017.1. So alright, so more stuff that they've added. The rubber band color change, what that shows you is, so if you had an object and let's say I wanted to move that object, that rubber band, it didn't allow you to change colors, so that had to be yellow no matter what. So in 2018 they actually allow you to fix that color of that rubber band to however you want. So for example, if you wanted to change that to red, you would need to go in the options. So if I type in options and in the drafting tab, hit colors, and you'll see that rubber band line option right there. And let's say I wanted to change the color of that to maybe red. Okay, I'll apply and close. Okay, so now if I go and move that object, that rubber band color is red. So that was not available in 2017 or
We highly recommend PPI red.
Okay, yeah. That's why I chose red.
That's right. Everybody change it to PPI red.
Yeah, please. So now that's available. All right. And some technology and performances. So now AutoCAD fully supports 4K monitors. So if you are on a 4K, and before 2018 came out, 2017 or 2016 was having a lot of issues with 4K. So your interface might look like this if you want a 4K monitor, because it didn't know what to do with it.
Yikes.
So all the text would be big and the dialog boxes would be everywhere. So they fixed that issue. So now you can view the drawings in HD or 4K, however you want to call it, and it won't mess around your dialog boxes or tool palettes or any of the text that's appearing bigger or smaller in. Also, so they've also integrated, so you can, when you're working with really complex 3D drawings, you can actually zoom in and pan really smoothly now. So before it used to skip frames, so if you were trying to pan the 3D drawing, it would just lag and skip frames. Now it doesn't do that anymore. So that's kind of dependent on your hardware also that you're using, but if you've been using AutoCAD for a while, I'm sure you're pretty good with hardware. So that should just improve your hardware. So that's something that you want to keep in mind when you're jumping on to 2018, because you can actually do everything really smoothly on when it comes to 3D stuff. All right. So some bonus material. So for all the users that are coming all the way from, for example, 2011 or 2012, and they're not used to the ribbon or the tabs, and they want to just go back to the classic style. It doesn't have one-click option that'll change everything to classic style. They got rid of that in 2017 and 2018. So, but there are workarounds that you can do to get it close to looking like a classic style. So for example, if I go in my 2018 and get rid of these, you can turn on the menu bar. So if you type in menu bar in your command line, currently the value is set to 0, which means the menu bar will not appear. So if I change it to 1, it's going to put a classic menu bar up on top. So if you're used to that, going through functionality like that, you can turn that on. And if you don't like the ribbon, you can always use the ribbon close command, and that will get rid of that ribbon. So all you're left with is the classic way of things. And if you're used to that, then you can just save that workspace, and so every time you open AutoCAD, this will save the settings for you, so you're not turning on the menu bar and closing the ribbon every time you're coming back into AutoCAD. And again, if you want to go the other way around, I can do menu bar, turn that off, and rib on is the function you want to use. It's RIBBON to bring back your ribbon, and this will turn everything to the way the newer functionality is. You can also minimize, so just by any double clicking anywhere around this empty area, and this will start minimizing your tabs. So now your tabs will not, all the functions will not appear till you go on and hover over each of those tabs. And if you wanted to minimize it more, you can again double click, and this will actually put those in and label them instead of the icon that popped up. So now you can click on them or hover over them and you'll see the options. If you don't like that way, you can minimize it more and you'll just get the Insert tab, the Annotate tab, and the ribbon will only pop up if you go and pick it manually. If you start working in the drawing, it's going to auto hide. And again, to cycle through it all, you can double click and now you're back to the standard way of AutoCAD. Alright, so one more enhancement that they've done is Revision Cloud. So it allows you to actually change the arc length and stuff. So if you never worked with revision clouds before, let's go over that real quick. So if I pick a rectangular option and I start my revision cloud, it's going to draw a rectangular revision cloud. The other option is a polygonal. So if I pick that, it's going to keep on asking me to pick points. And when you feel like you're done making it, so click and hit enter, it's going to make a little revision cloud to any shape you want. Now my favorite is the freehand, because this allows you to actually click and draw like a pencil, so you can keep on drawing, and when you want to be done, just go ahead and attach it to the point that you started from, and you've just made a revision cloud. And that's the freehand one. So, still in that command. So I'll get rid of these, and you can also do it from objects. So for example, if I had a rectangle or a circle and I wanted to turn these into a revision cloud, let's see, Annotate tab. So it doesn't actually give you the option right on the go from objects, so that's only possible. So if I pick a command and then in my command line I can select object, and from here I can select the object drawn, and it's going to turn that into a revision cloud. And you can actually reverse the direction, so if you want the arcs to be inwards instead of the outwards, you can do that here. And you can do the same thing to the circle just by doing it from objects. Now if you don't like the arc length of this, because if you zoomed out it's only going to look like a rectangle, so the default one is set to 0.5. So to change that arc length you would need to be in a command, so you can choose any of these, and there's that arc length option right in your command line, and you'll see I have mine set to 1. So if I wanted to change that to maybe 5, and again maximum is also 5, and now if I start drawing something, it's gonna be 5 times as bigger as the previous one. 0.5 again is the default, and you can change it, and it's gonna actually remember that. So if you wanted to go back to 0.5, you will actually need to go back in and edit that arc length. And with that much, we have covered all the AutoCAD features. And this actually shows you a little slide comparing the past 2016, 2017 to 2018. So I just wanted to put that slide in there.
Perfect.
That's all. And
all right.
Now we're ready for some questions if there
We will open it up to Q&A, and we have one in here. Do you have one more slide?
Well, yeah.
Gives
that's
us
the last
our information.
Yeah. There you go.
Forever the marketing person.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So just put our contact information up there. So if there's anything that we can help you with in the future, again, JV provides training in our open enrollment or public classes, as well as custom training, and so we can help you out with that. So our first question we have is from Michael. So when you were demonstrating the classic view, he was asking, what about the command tree?
So the command is not changeable to the classic way of things, so it's going to have to stay the new command line.
There we go.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Michael. Don't hate the messenger.
Yeah.
Brian asks, can you look at or can you ask Autodesk to merge the layer and XREF dialogues, please?
we can ask them.
Yeah,
we put in a request.
We're going to get the bat phone out and call Autodesk right now. No, actually, we can certainly give them that feedback.
Yeah, if a lot of users are expecting that. Yeah.
Yeah, they do listen to feedback. Users can they can provide that feedback on the forums as well. And in fact, it's sometimes I would encourage you to do that, Brian, is find that AutoCAD forum, and sometimes you guys have a little bit more voice than we do, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to do that, but we'll put that in the queue to mention. Adam, is there any improved support for stretching a RevCloud?
So you can do it by the grips, which you mentioned that already. But we can see if 2018 allows you to use the stretch command. So I'll actually try that just in front of you. So if I stretch it. So yeah, it actually allows you to stretch it using the stretch command.
So thank you for attending. We look forward to seeing you on the next one. JV, thank you so much for helping us learn more about the 2018.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
And an email will go out with the recorded version. So again, thanks so much and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.